Type, can everyone hear me properly? Just change the connection. Type, okay. You can't hear me? Yeah, I just fixed the connection. I just changed it to the right connection, so the connection should be better now. It should be better now. Anyone still having connection issues? Everybody can hear me properly? There's a glitch. There still is? Or it has been resolved? Please let me know. Low volume. I think we've been having that lately. Let me try and fix that. Okay, so the volume, is that just for you or is that for everyone? Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay. Right. All right, let's continue. Bismillah. So we said today's session is an orientation session, and the purpose of today's session is number one, to discuss the course goals, basically, which we've done actually before. I might jump that point. But the most important thing is to show you how we do stuff. Because like I said, this session is mainly aimed at new students, even though we're joined as well by some of the cohort 1 and 2 alumni as well, because I specifically asked them to join us so that they can answer some of your questions as well and share some of their experiences. But this is really for you guys who are new, for you guys who are studying with us for the first time here with cohort 3. So we're going to show you how we do stuff. And like I said, we're going to try and answer all the questions that you're most likely going to be asking me within the coming few days. Okay? طيب. So the first section is all about how-tos. Okay? So you're going to be asking me all of these things. So let me quickly, very briefly explain them to you in the most concise way possible, inshallah. First, how to join live lectures. Well, if you're already here inside Zoom, then you know how to do that. But just to show you how to join the live lectures in a way whereby you don't need to register every single week, I'm just going to quickly show you how to do that. So I'm going to share with you a link in the group, obviously, to a calendar. And this is what we call the Arabic classes calendar. Okay, so this calendar will have all of the Arabic classes, or is the Arabic conversational course calendar, and it's going to have all of the Arabic conversational courses lessons that are upcoming. Okay, so just one link, you just go there and you'll find whatever lesson is upcoming, inshallah. So it looks like this. Okay, so we have level 3 cohort 3, and we have level 1 cohort 3. Now when you click on this one, so the next session is going to be on Saturday, this one's 8 p.m, that one's 9 p.m. Let's say you're in level 3, click on it, and then you're going to register. When it comes to registering, please register for the entire series. Don't go and choose individual sessions, because that way, if you choose the entire series, you will automatically get an email reminder every single day, 1 hour before the session and 5 minutes before the session, and you'll get the link inside that email reminder. Okay, so all you need to do before the lesson is just go to your email, click on the link, and you're inside Zoom, inshallah. Okay, so that way I don't need to invite you, you don't need to register, it just happens automatically. So you choose register for entire series, and then you click register. Obviously I'm signed in. If you're not signed in, then it is going to ask you to make an account or to sign in, and it's going to show you all of the upcoming sessions, and you can enable email reminders, and even better, you can also enable SMS reminders. So you just put in your phone number and you will actually receive an SMS when the 5 minutes, I think, or 1 hour before the session. Okay, you can obviously update the lessons that you're registered to. For example, let's say there's a particular lesson that you know you can't make it, you don't want to get those email reminders, then you just go here and you remove yourself from that particular session, inshallah. Okay, and that's it. And here you have some of the information. So this is how you register for the sessions. You just need to do it once, inshallah, for this cohort. And obviously, those of you that are registered students, you will get a link to this inside the Telegram group. So that's the first thing. You can also visit if you want the event page. If you need me, just contact the host, inshallah. But obviously, don't share the link. This is not to be shared. As you can see, this is As you can see, level 3, this one's paid. Right. That's one thing. Mumtaz. Any questions on that? Please ask. Okay, then we have how to join the learning portal. Okay, now that's also something that you're probably going to be asking me about. So I'm going to run you through it, inshallah ta'ala, as if I'm a new student, okay? As if I'm a new student. Show you exactly what steps need to be taken. Okay, one moment. Let me open it. Where did that link go? You're looking for something? Barely find it. Okay, type. Okay, so the first thing you're going to get inside the Telegram group tomorrow morning, inshallah, or tonight, whenever I get the chance, is a link to the learning portal. Okay, it's going to take you straight to that course on the learning portal. Let me show you that. Hope it works. Okay. So we'll come back to this one because it's a technical issue. We'll come back to this one towards the end, inshallah, no problem. Right. Then we have how to submit assignments and exams. Okay. Now, obviously, after you join the portal, and we'll come back to that later, or I'll record you a video, inshallah, and I'll post it inside the channel. But once you're inside the portal, you're going to see all the assignments. So now I'm going to show you how to submit the assignments and the exams, inshallah. Okay. Right. Bismillah. So into the portal as if I'm registered. Hope it's not my internet, it's not the problem. Hope everyone can still hear me. Okay, so this is basically how the portal looks like. Let me share the screen again. My computer is extremely slow. Let me close a few apps. I think I'm running too many apps. Okay, let's go. Okay, you see all of that? Everybody see that? Okay, so let's say you're here on the portal. You can see my screen, right? No? Okay. And try that again. There we go. You can see the screen, right? Okay, so now you're going to be, let's say, on the learning portal. This is a learning portal. Like we showed you last time, you got different weeks. Let's say I'm going to do Dialogue 2 worksheet, which is a pre-class activity. Okay. Obviously, on your mobiles might look slightly different. I can show you actually how it's going to look on mobile. On mobile, it's probably going to look like this. Okay, it's going to look like that on mobile. So you're going to have the dialogue. If you want to answer the questions, you click on that button up there. That's going to give you the questions. And then if you want to go back to the dialogue, you click there, you see the dialogue again. Okay, that's if you're on mobile. There's not much real estate, screen real estate. If you're on a laptop or a PC, then you're going to see it like this. Okay, you'll have the actual dialogue on the right-hand side to read, and then you have the questions on the left. Now, let's say you answer all of these questions. Okay, and this is for the premium cohort students. And it comes to submitting it, then what you do is, let's go to another one. Let's say this one, for example. Okay, let's say this one. I didn't attempt this one before. And let's say you answer the questions, right? And then you click here, submit. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to write your name, and you're going to write your email address, and you're going to press send. Okay, so now your question has been submitted. You will get the answers to your questions available to you straight away so that you can review it. However, because these sort of questions, for example, there are some questions that are automatically graded. Teacher doesn't need to mark it, but this question where you have to write a sentence, it could be that you wrote, for example, بألم شديد في أسناني. If you have any sort of spelling mistake, it's going to mark it wrong. If you write it slightly different than the way it's written here, it's going to mark it wrong. But don't worry, because the teacher is going to manually review all of your answers and he's going to mark them correct, as long as you got the answer correct. Because obviously there's many different ways that you can say a sentence, you know, specifically when it comes to writing, okay? And we're not going to penalize you for spelling mistakes as well. So the teacher will, if there's a spelling mistake, he'll give you a correction. And if there's no spelling mistake, you just said it in a different way, he'll mark it as correct. And then you are going to receive your work. You're going to receive your work via email, okay? So let me show you then how that looks like. You're going to get actually a PDF of your work. You got this correct, you got this wrong, you got this correct, you got this wrong, and you can review your answers, okay? I think there's no point showing you that. You'll see that in a moment. That's not really something that you need to do, so I don't really need to show you that, okay? طيب. واضح? So that's how you submit assignments. Now, when it comes to submitting exams, it is basically the same. The only difference when it comes to exams is that, for example, here the midterm exam, don't try to look at the questions, okay? But let's say the moment you start the exam, there's a countdown, there's a timer here up there. Sometimes it might be a circle hiding so that it doesn't induce any stress. You don't want to be looking at the time all the time. But an hour and a half is more than enough for this exam. You have this thing counting down. Now, the point is, the moment you start the exam, the countdown starts. So only attempt the exam when you're ready. And then the same thing applies. Answer all the questions, and then you submit it. You write your name and your email, and you'll receive back a graded PDF version of your work. Okay? And now, my advice is, and this is now one of the practical advices that inshallah ta'ala you can benefit from. Let's go back to, yeah. My advice is that when you submit your assignments, yes, how to stay up to date with regards to which assignments are due, you're going to receive an email reminder whenever a section has been unlocked. Because if you look at the portal, it's different sections, and these sections are unlocked on different days. So the pre-work assignments are unlocked on a Friday, and then the post-work on a Monday, and so on and so forth. You're going to get an email. Once you get the email, work on your assignments, submit it. When should you submit your assignments? All of the assignments that are unlocked. Yes, and this is the rule. Any assignment that is unlocked, anything within there, you need to complete it before the next lecture. Because when the next lecture comes, what do? We go over your answers. We explain what learning opportunities there are so that we can learn from each other's mistakes and the like. Now, if you submit late, then unfortunately your work will not be graded. It will not be graded by a teacher. And this for multiple reasons, okay? The first reason is that obviously the teacher is constantly grading new work. And it's very difficult for us to keep up with the backlog if people are submitting their assignments all in one batch late. That's one. Number two, actually the feedback form that I send out at the end of every term, and you give me your feedback and your input. One of the sisters said that, Ustad, you need to be more strict when it comes to enforcing deadlines. Because if you don't enforce these deadlines and we get to do our assignments whenever we like, then what's going to happen is we're going to start postponing. We're going to start saying tomorrow. We're going to start procrastinating. So in order to avoid that, this is your hard deadline. The assignment is there. Make sure you do it before the next lecture. Okay? So don't ask me when it's due. So to show you again the portal, it's very simple. See, let me move this to. Okay. Let me show you this again. So you have these sections here, week 1, week 2, okay? So you're gonna have, for example, now it's all put together in 1 week, but there's gonna be pre-class, midweek, post-unit. So when the section is unlocked, then very simple. Whatever comes under this section, you have to submit it before the next lecture. And like I said, you'll receive an email reminder when that happens. And inshallah, I can post it on the Telegram group as well, just to remind you, hey, assignments are ready. But the schedule is simple, it's as follows. I mean, those of you I know that were in cohort 2 and cohort 1, these deadlines and these assignments were not released promptly and on time because we were actually, like they say, building the plane while flying it. But now, alhamdulillah, all the assignments are 100% ready. They're scheduled. They are, the dates are there for them to be released. That will happen automatically. It doesn't rely on me. So you'll get the email automatically. It will be posted automatically. So if you want the schedule is very simple. And we'll talk about level 1. Level 3, I think you know it by now, inshallah. Level 1, Friday, you'll get your pre-class activities. Saturday is the lecture. So you have 48 hours roughly. Okay, so from Friday midnight until about Saturday 9 p.m. Then Sunday, from Sunday morning or midnight, which is a couple of hours after the live lecture, it will be released, the work for that is after the lecture. And that you need to do until Monday. So there's another 48 hours. Then when we do our Monday lecture, you're going to get another section released on Tuesday morning. And you can do that all the way until Thursday. Okay, or like I said, until the next lecture, which is Saturday. Okay, but if you do it until Thursday, it's probably better because Friday, you're going to be starting a new unit with new pre-work assignments and the likes. So I hope that's clear, inshallah. Of course, you'll get the hang of it, but and I'll clip these small clips if you like, so that if any of you wants to ask a question or anyone missed it, we can share this information with them. How to review your work and grades. I've already shared with you that you will actually receive the feedback and the corrections as a PDF in your email, alhamdulillah. And in terms of grading, then not everything that you do is graded. I mean, not everything that you do is part of your final grade. There are some assignments that are graded and some assignments that are not graded. These assignments that are not graded, the purpose is just for you to get extra practice. So the grammar practice, the vocabulary practice, the sound recognition practice. In other words, any assignment that says practice at the end, then this is not graded. It's just for you to prepare yourself for those assignments that are graded. So which assignments are graded? We have two types. We have periodic assessments and we have weekly assignments. Let's start with the weekly assignments. Okay, so for level 1 particularly, the weekly assignments, you have pre-unit assignments. Okay, these in total, they are 8 for 8 units. And for each one, you'll get 1 mark. And when I say you get 1 mark, you get 1 mark for just completing it. It doesn't really matter what score you get, how many mistakes you make. That's not our point. Our point is that you attempt, that you try your best, that you do it in time. Okay, so if you do it in time, you'll get in total 1 mark out of 100 for every single pre-unit, for all of the pre-unit assignments put together. Then we have the midweek assignments that are also worth 1 mark out of 100. Then we have the post-unit assignments that are also worth 1 mark out of 100. So in total here we have 8, 16, 24 marks for weekly assignments. 24 out of 100 for weekly assignments. And the rest obviously is going to be to do with your periodic assessments, which you prepare for, inshallah. So there's going to be a weekly quiz, which is worth 2 marks. Okay, you do that at the end of the week. Then there's a quarterly test, which is after every 2 units, taken from Arabiya to Baini Dig, the book itself. And for that, you will get 5 out of 100 marks. So that's 20. Then the midterm exam is worth 10 out of 100. And then the final exam is worth 20 out of 100. Now, if you add all of them together, this is 60, 74 plus 36 makes 100 in total. So that's how the grading works, inshallah. Now, the previous cohorts, we haven't really enforced this. Okay. Inshallah, going forward, you will actually have these grades reflected inside Learn Worlds, the portal. You'll have it reflected. You will see it. Yes. There's actually a grade book functionality inside the portal where you can see your grade book and all the grades that you have. So we're going to be making use of that function, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. And also there are bonus 5 bonus marks for attendance. Okay, 5 bonus marks for attendance, inshallah ta'ala. However, you will lose these bonus marks only on one circumstance, which is you only lose marks for unauthorized absence. Now, you might ask, what's unauthorized absence? Unauthorized absence basically is that you just missed the lesson without telling us, without telling the teacher, we don't want that. Okay, there has to be a level of accountability and responsibility. We are not going to determine your excuse, if you have an excuse to be absent or not. And we call it unauthorized absence because that's the academic, whatever, educational, the term they use inside academic institutions, but it doesn't mean that we have to authorize your absence. We have to say, okay, fine, you can miss the class. You know your situation best. If you can't make it for the lecture, we are not going to involve ourselves in why. You don't need to tell us why, but just the courtesy of, Ustad, I can't make it today. Or if you even couldn't message in time because something happened, or you were overwhelmed or whatever reason, then even after the lesson, just reach out to us and be like, Ustad, I'm sorry, I couldn't make it yesterday. Now, if you don't do any of those things, no correspondence from you, and there's an absence, then that's what we call unauthorized absence. Okay? And we will take away those bonus points. Again, bonus points, because I don't want you to feel like we're penalizing you. Okay? But this is just to entice you and to encourage you to attend as many live lectures and workshops as you can, because, my dear brothers and sisters, and I'm sure all of you will agree with me, watching a video on YouTube will never be the same as attending an event live. Believe me, doesn't matter how engaging the YouTube video is, it's just so easy to get distracted, easy to press pause, easy to watch it later, easy to skip. It's not going to be the same. Okay? So that's how to review your work and grades. Finally, how to register for workshops. Now, this is the same thing as registering for the live lectures. You will always receive an email invite. So again, I'm going to send you a link for all of the workshops. Those of you that are on the premium cohort, you register for the entire series and you'll get your email invites, inshallah ta'ala. So once the general lecture ends, you just leave Zoom, go to your email, join the next one, inshallah. And inshallah, this time we're going to try to stick to the timings, inshallah, instead of being all over the place. Yani, live lecture 1 hour, live lecture 1 hour. We try and fit in whatever we can, inshallah ta'ala. How to get support? Very important question. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you are going to need support. Okay? You might be all excited at the moment and full of energy, but the truth is that somewhere along the line, you're going to struggle with something. You might be struggling academically. You might be struggling technically. Some students, they're not as technically savvy as others, and they might have some kind of technical issues. Or you might just struggle morally, as in, you just don't feel like coming to the class, or you feel a bit down, or you feel a lack of confidence, and maybe you think to yourself, what's the point? I missed 2 weeks anyway. These kind of occasions, you're going to need support. And we're here for you, inshallah. So we have 3 types of support that I can think of. We have academic support, i.e., anything that you need to do with the content, understanding the concepts, answering your questions, anything to do with the content that we're teaching, reach out to me. Contact me and I will help you, inshallah. You can send a message on the Telegram group if it's something more private, if you like, or if you feel a bit shy, which you shouldn't. We're all learning. But if that's the case, just contact me by email or through the bot, inshallah ta'ala. Or just send me a private message on Telegram. Since you're on the group, you can do that. You might need administrative support. Okay, anything to do with registration, entering the portal, submitting your assignments late, submitting your exam late. Sometimes you need your exam to be reset because something happened. For that, you're gonna reach out to the course director, inshallah. You contact the course director, and this is one of the new things that we have this term, alhamdulillah, which I hope will really free me up for creating more value when it comes to the academic side of things, is that now I'm not the instructor and the manager and the course director and the support agent. I don't play all these roles now anymore like I used to. Okay, right now I just want to focus on the content and helping you academically. And alhamdulillah, we have a brother on board, Mahad Umar, and he is our course director. Alhamdulillah, over the course of he's not starting now, he actually started working with us from the last cohort behind the scenes. and he managed to pick up everything, Alhamdulillah, and he is there to help you with any sort of administrative support that you need. You don't need to contact him directly. Just send an email to admin@binabdullah.com and it will reach him, inshallah, and he will reply back, or just message the bot, the Telegram bot, and he will also be on the other side of that, inshallah. And he's also with us in all of the Telegram groups and channels. Okay. Fine. Then we have moral support. Okay. I say for that, I would say turn towards your classmates. Okay. I would advise you to choose an accountability partner. Yani going forward right now, maybe right now you're new. Okay, we have two brothers actually that are brothers joining us this level, mashallah. I don't think you need to look for an accountability partner. But those of you, look for your other Muslim brothers, your other brothers from other mothers with us here in the course, inshallah. Choose one of them and just make them accountability partners and meet up, check up on each other. If, for example, what do I mean by accountability partner? We will obviously reach out to the student if he's absent, unauthorized absence, and the likes, and assignments and these sort of things. That level of accountability we will provide. But maybe, you see that maybe your accountability partner is submitting assignment. You wouldn't know about his assignments, but you might see that he's not attending the workshop or whatever it may be. Just reach out to him. We have previously had, mashallah, the students really interacting with each other. I remember one particular occasion, mashallah, I actually, Dr. Awad was teaching them, the students, and he finished a bit early. And obviously, to keep the meeting going, I just left the laptop on, yes, because they were in a breakout room, and I left, and I literally came back 30 or 40 minutes later. And this is like 20 or 30 minutes after Dr. Awad has finished the lesson. And I found the students, all of them still there in the workshop, having a conversation with each other. At times they practice Arabic, and at other times they just ask each other about their experiences in learning Arabic and seek each other's advice and the likes. And this was really a beautiful sight to see. And they loved it as well. And after that, I remember some of them would have these regular meetups as well, practicing together. So have these meetups, and we'll try to facilitate as well with our upcoming community platform as well to make it easier from the technological side of things. But my advice would be to you from the beginning right now, make those connections, inshallah, with your classmates. They are the best support that you can have without feeling intimidated. I know you might feel shy reaching out to me or what have you. You might think it's too professional or too serious, and especially for the sisters as well, you have fellow sisters with you. Some of you that have been studying with us longer, some of you at a higher level. And even those that are at a higher level, I advise you to help out your brothers and sisters that you think they might be struggling and give them a level of encouragement, inshallah. So that is something that I wish I could provide to everyone, but I can't. But I am sure, inshallah ta'ala, from the experience that we had so far, the students that we've had so far taking part, alhamdulillah, and I'm proud to say this, but mashallah, a special group of people, Allahumma barik. And inshallah, I hope that continues to be the case. People that came together for the sake of Allah in order to learn this beautiful language, alhamdulillah, and that itself is an added value to the course, which is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is not even something that is by design, it's just something by the will and permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So do make use of that major opportunity, inshallah. Now, how to make the most of this course. And now I'm going to show you the value of having classmates, okay, who you can relate to, who are at your level, who are struggling what you're struggling with. Your fellow classmates can give you things that I can't give you. Okay, one of those things is the fact that there's something called the curse of knowledge. And the curse of knowledge, it basically is a concept that says that a teacher will always underestimate a student's struggle because of the fact that he knows, he has the knowledge. And that knowledge kind of makes him ignorant of the student's state. It's the curse of knowledge. Because you know it, you think it's easy. But inshallah, your fellow classmates don't have that. They just struggled and they just completed things and they just, got through these challenges recently. Okay, I studied Arabic almost 22 decades ago, right? I was in your shoes almost 2 decades ago. So I'm not going to remember all the things I struggled with, right? But here you have a group of students, yes, who've been there, have done that, and they are here willing to share that with you. They'll share that with you privately, But right now, I want him to share that, inshallah, publicly for all of you to benefit, inshallah ta'ala. So this question is aimed at all of our lovely alumni from Cohort 1 and Cohort 2. Please answer this question, obviously anonymously. Join on WooClap, bi'idhnillah. And answer this question, inshallah, for our fellow brothers and sisters who have just joined us for this cohort. So the question you're going to answer, bi'idhnillah, is, the first question is, what were some of the challenges you faced and how did you overcome them? So that's the first question, okay? And you can like the answers as well. Bi'idhnillah. So try to keep your answer in just one message. Share some of the challenges you faced and how you overcame them. Why do I say this? Because those are pitfalls. And you got out of those pitfalls. You're still with us here, mashallah, tabarakallah. You finished level 1, you finished level 2. So since you got out of those pitfalls, share that with your brothers and sisters so that they don't fall into the same pit as you. Okay? So they can, be aware of it before, so that they can learn it the easy way, not the hard way. So that's the point of this exercise. So what were some of the challenges you faced and how did you overcome them? Because these common pitfalls and challenges allow us to learn from others' mistakes. Okay? So you're going to answer that, and I'll preserve it as well, inshallah. I'll put them together and I'll give them to you as a PDF or a document, so you can just go over them, have them in hand, and just, look out for these sort of pitfalls, make sure you don't fall in them. I mean, and the reason I actually asked this question is because I know you lot have shared amazing insights with me in the feedback form. Okay? Obviously, I can go the feedback form and bring it, but I want something live right now that they can feel, you lot are here with us live here. Tell them live what these challenges are. If some of the things you've shared with us in the feedback form are missing, then I'll add that to the document as well, and I'll share that as well, okay? So what are these things or problems, pitfalls, challenges that you faced that you think, our new students should be aware of? Someone's asking, is this for self-paced students too? Self-paced students get everything that premium cohort students get, apart from a few things. Those are the things that are, very resource intensive that we can't give, at that price, such as the workshops, because the numbers are limited, and teacher marking your work as well. So the self-paced exercises are automatically graded, as in you get the answer and then you can judge if your answer is correct or not, okay? You don't submit it to the teacher. Having said that, we did think of an option whereby we can solve that problem, whereby you would also be able to submit to a teacher, but that's something I'll share in the Telegram group, inshallah, tomorrow. So there is some good news for our self-paced students, inshallah. I'll share that tomorrow. Right. Let's see what we have here. Okay, my dear brothers and sisters, stick to the time. Attend classes online and don't rely on videos, as it is very hard to watch it again. That's so true. When you say to yourself, I'm going to watch this lecture later, that it never happens. You never watch it, never you watch it. Secondly, stick to the deadlines. There's pre-lesson work, during lesson work, and post-lesson work. Now, so these assignments, yes, I filled up your week. I've warned you. I did tell you that you are going to need time to do these assignments, and all of you in the application form have stated that you have 7 hours available a week. So inshallah, they won't take more than 3 hours, the assignments, okay, on average, but make sure you are consistent. You can put more time into, obviously, perfecting your vocabulary and the likes, but the actual mandatory assignments, 1 hour, for each one of these pre-class, post-class, and whatever. Try your best to do them on time, otherwise you lose motivation, have a pile of assignments on your head. Definitely one of the things that I've seen in the feedback form, a lot of people have said that. All right, this person said, I felt comfortable with the grammar and vocabulary of the text, but not as quick in conversation in the workshop. Not as quick in conversation. Okay, so this is, generally speaking, I think applies to most people. You understand the grammar, you understand the vocabulary, you think you really know it, up until you are put on the spot in the workshop. Now you find that you're not as quick as in conversation. because these are productive skills. These they need to be developed separately. Okay, you need to be in those uncomfortable situations. So the workshop was a booster to get more familiar to utilizing speaking skills with other students. Naam, Hassan. Leaving assignments, you see the same thing. Leaving assignments, homework too late, then more assignments, homework would add up, and I felt overwhelmed, mainly due to procrastination and other family commitments. I overcame them by setting myself smaller tasks each day until I eventually caught up. My advice would be submit work on time, hold yourself to account, and keep going, don't give up. Barakallah feek. Words of gold. I struggled massively with knowing in my head what I wanted to say and actually being able to articulate it. It would somehow just get messed up. The workshops helped massively with this, and I sought others to practice with in between lessons who were more advanced than I. I would highly recommend getting a partner from the get-go. Jameel jiddan. Barakallah feekum. The main challenge is to keep up to date with the assignments and quizzes. Recurring theme, huh? It's very important to set aside a fixed time to study Arabic, and to be honest, for level 1, looking back, I think 10 to 15 minutes a day would have been more than sufficient. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. So even the 1 hour that we said a day, or 1 hour we said, 3 hours we said per week is conservative. It's a very conservative estimate. Or optimistic, I don't know, whichever. Okay. Tayyib. So you can see the recurring theme here. Keep up to date with assignments. And the benefit of workshops. Those are the two main takeaways that I've gotten so far. Make sure you stay up to date, don't fall behind, don't procrastinate. And secondly, the benefit of workshops, which means don't miss the workshops, because that's where most of the value and most of the benefits lie when it comes to speaking. And don't forget, this course is called the Arabic Conversational course. It's all about having those conversations. And if you're absent from the workshop, you won't have those conversations. Okay? Of course, those of you that are on the self-paced tier, that are not attending the workshops, all hope is not lost. You'll still gain the receptive skills of understanding the language. Know that you're starting your journey of seeking knowledge, and Ustad is someone who will make to attach yourself to the scholars. He has a lot of classes along with Arabic, and your week can be filled with khair. 3 hours a day for the deen. Start with this and it will soon become a habit. Barakallah feekum. Maneuvering through the app was challenging for me. Alhamdulillah, an administrative assistant was very helpful. So those people that struggle technically, then we assign for them an administrative assistant, someone that can walk them through the app one by one, show them how to do things. And Alhamdulillah, this student is saying that was very helpful. Alhamdulillah, that's good to hear. May Allah reward her abundantly. So as one of the sisters. So if you're a sister, then you'll get another sister assigned to you to help you out, inshallah. Note certainty, there's help available, inshallah. Barakallah feekum. Jazakumullah khair. Let's finish up with this one. Might sound a bit silly, but I'd often find myself just having the hiwars with myself whilst either on the way to the mosque or driving. The conversations he's saying, or she's saying, that they are practicing in the workshops of the Arabi Beni Deg, they find themselves what? Having those hiwars with themselves on the way to the mosque or driving. People might think you're mad, but this perception has some benefits. Definitely. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. And I think that's nothing but a result of the whole week you're being constantly bombarded, and if you like exposed to the same hiwar. I mean, the way Arabi Bendik is set up anyway is that these hiwars are what? And all the assignments are connected. Okay? So you are constantly seeing the same thing. Then in the workshop, you're practicing the same thing. By the end of the week, this is almost second nature, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. Talk to classmates, you learn a lot from them. Practice what you learn to let the concept stick. Never miss your workshop. Even if you're shy and nervous, initially you'll get over it. If you attend the workshop, keep listening to your classmates who are ahead and the teacher. Okay, mashallah, so much. Ustad loves to put you into challenging situations. He loves it. Stay prepared always. Yes, the more challenging the situation, the more benefits you will reap. Okay, if I keep you comfortable, you'll probably be happier, and less students will drop out, but also less students would actually reach their learning goals. Ahsantum. All right, let's go to the next question, inshallah. And I think with that we'll finish the next question, and then I think that's something very small to cover after that, and then we should be done, inshallah. Next question is, what would you have done more if you could go back in time? Okay, so now those were the challenges. Okay, but Right now, what I want to ask you is that this course obviously offers many different things. It has many different features, many different options, many different benefits, right? You have the workshops, you have the vocabulary flashcards, you have the grammar practice exercises. Which of these things had the biggest impact on your achievements, if you like? Okay. So what would you have done more of if you could go back in time? So is there something that you think to yourself, you know what, if I had done more of this, I probably would get even better results because of what you have witnessed from certain things you've achieved. So it might be that you found that, one sister, she emailed me, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward her. No, it wasn't email, she replied to the feedback email that you automatically receive after the session. And she mentioned how she gained so much vocabulary like she's never done before. And there's others that have benefited when it comes to the confidence in speaking. Now, the point is, whatever you've achieved, yes, what is it that led to that achievement? And what would you have done more of it? If you could increase in that particular thing that you kept on doing week in, week out, what would that be? And I'm asking this so that our students, our new students, inshallah, they know what to focus on. All right. So they can benefit from this to know that, hey, I'm going to put most of my effort into this because this reaps the most benefits. It might be slightly different for each person, but nevertheless, this exercise is an exercise of sharing your perspectives. Inshallah, it's not a golden bullet. We call it golden bullet, whatever they call it. But it's something that you can look at, reflect over, and try it for yourself. If it works, alhamdulillah, keep going. If it doesn't, try something else. I would love to write all the hiwar in my notes. Also gather the grammar rules in one place. At the moment, I have it all over the place. Okay, that's maybe something that I should be helping you with. All right, I do put all the, even though I remember for level 1, we did do actually a revision session where we put everything in one place. I'm not sure if you attended. I think it was, maybe we haven't done it for the level 2, but we've done it for level 1. And we'll continue doing that, inshallah ta'ala. So I'll help you with that, inshallah. I'm an introvert. I would definitely advise any others who are the same to put yourself in uncomfortable situations in the workshop. Do not allow your nature to rob you of the immense benefit you'll gain by getting involved and asking questions and making mistakes now. And rest assured, the workshops are not recorded. It's a safe, comfortable, welcoming place. A place where mistakes are welcome. As a matter of fact, it's a place where we call mistakes learning opportunities. And all of you know that we don't call mistakes mistakes. Okay? We call them learning opportunities. Okay? So the more you involve yourself, the more likely you will encounter more learning opportunities. But if you stay shy, that's not going to happen. And we all know the statement that says 2 people never learn, the shy one and the arrogant one. And we mentioned many times before, it's because the shy one and the arrogant one have got one thing in common. Both of them don't make mistakes because they don't try. The shy one is afraid of making mistakes, so he doesn't give it a try. And the arrogant one thinks, I know it anyway, what's the point? It's too easy for me. He doesn't give it a try. If he did give it a try, he'll probably encounter a learning opportunity and be humbled and learn from his mistakes. So these 2 types of people, they don't learn. And like we said, because they don't make these mistakes. So if you are going to be quiet and shy, and you don't make the mistakes, you've missed out on learning opportunities. If you're going to think it's too easy and you're like, it's too easy for me, I'm not going to involve myself, then know that you have deprived yourself of learning opportunities. Now, I suppose this question is more difficult than the previous one, huh? Someone's asking, when the brain is distracted and time is important, how do we keep ourselves focused in order to not forget? Write things down. Wallah, that's it. If your brain is distracted, don't rely on your brain. Get a pen and paper and write it down. Whatever is important to you, write it down. I guarantee you and I promise you, if you get into the habit of writing down those things that are important to you, and then you just keep an eye on that throughout the day, you will be as focused as, you'll be very focused. Barakallahu feek. Speak what little you learn often with anyone who will entertain you, even if it's a sentence or 2. Make a list of the verbs and nouns and try to conjugate them and practice them on a day-to-day basis in different situations so that the grammar and vocabulary are spot on. Practice more of the dialogues ahead of the class. Physically sit there and speak out loud whilst listening. So when it comes to the workshop, things will be easier. Also learn the vocabulary ahead of time, as this will help you immensely reading, writing, and speaking skills. Na'am. And that's one of the reasons why we have pre-class activities anyway. Because we don't want you to come to class, everything is new. We want you to come to class prepared. We want you to come to class knowing what you struggle with, because that's much easier. It's going to be much easier for you to fill the gaps if you know where the gaps are before class, as opposed to coming to the class and everything is new. The vocabulary is new, the grammar is new, everything is new. You're going to be overwhelmed. That's the importance of doing the pre-class activities before class. طيب. أحسنتم. Also, this is from me. Please focus on your reading fluency. These dialogues, just get it and read it until you can read it fluently, because I guarantee you, you will not be able to speak it fluently if you can't even read it from the book fluently. So a lot of people, they struggle with speaking in the workshop, not because they don't know the sentence, it's because they're not fluent in pronouncing the sentence. So they kind of like, trying to stitch things together. So don't fall into that trap. Take written notes as much as possible. It will help memory. Last one, completing more of the exercise from the book and review periodically from previous lessons, especially vocabulary, grammar, and dialogues. All of these, gold. Absolute gold. Use my time in trains, cars, and buses with Arabic in your ears. Naam. Arabic in your ears, and also using the flashcards, the quiz with flashcards. You can use them on your phone, download the app, wherever you are on the train, just go through your words, the vocabulary, and just practice, inshallah. All these are gold. Like I said, we'll put these together, inshallah. We'll try and consolidate them maybe and turn them into a small list of practical advice from your fellow classmates, inshallah. All right, so, I mean, that's really it. I was going to, and I might do that. I know some of you might need to leave. If you need to leave, no problem. I was going to talk about the weekly schedule. We'll get to that in a moment, which basically I'm just going to literally walk you through what we do in the live lecture, what we do in the workshop, supplementary workshop and the likes. This is something that those of you on level 3 or previous alumni or students that have studied this before, you don't need to be here for this section. Barakallah feekum, you've done what I wanted you to do. Jazakumullah khairan. You shared your insight, you shared your advice, and I'm sure the students will benefit from that. So the last thing that I want to finish off with for those of you that might leave us, is the guidelines and procedures. So I just made you a simple action list. Just remember these things. We might add more to it, but this is what came to mind. Number 1, and this is the most important one, that's why it's on top. No matter what, just show up. Barakallahu feek. Doesn't matter what. Doesn't matter if you haven't done your pre-class activities. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're falling behind. I know some students, unfortunately, they dropped out because they said to me things like, Ustad, if I come to the workshop, I feel like I'm not at the same level as my classmates and I don't want to hold everybody else up, so I excuse myself. La ya akhi. Wallahi, this was waswas from the shaitan. This was waswas from the shaitan. Okay? Shaitan is trying to beautify for you this way of thinking of giving up, making you think as if you are doing some kind of ihsan and some kind of favor for everyone else. No. We welcome everyone. Those that are struggling, those that are not struggling, no one, I guarantee you, inshallah, from the students will look down upon you and be like, oh, I wish this guy didn't come to the workshop. La. Rather, they will help you. Teacher, same thing. No teacher will be like, oh, I wish Fulan didn't attend today. He talks too slow. No. So don't fall into that trap, please. No matter what happens, no matter how much you're behind, no matter if you're prepared or not, even no matter if, for example, sometimes someone says, oh, I can't really participate. I just had a flu. I got a sore throat. Okay, show up still. You don't have to speak. Listen to everybody else speaking in the workshop. Okay, so if you can physically show up, right, and be there behind the laptop, I say to you, be there. No matter what your mental status, your whatever moral status, whatever. Okay, just show up. Barakallahu feekum. You've already paid for this course, or you've been granted a scholarship. There are other students out there that missed out on a seat that you've been given. So please, the least that you can do is show up. Okay? The least that you can do is just show up and be there if you can. Okay? If you can't show up, for whatever reason, you traveled, you're sick, then watch the replay as quickly as possible. Don't leave it for later. Okay, but again, like we said, we don't want to go down that route. And again, I tell you, the workshops are not recorded. So you miss it, you miss it. Another incentive, inshallah, for you not to miss the workshops. Secondly, engage in live classes and ask questions. So these kind of live classes, when we do it, we use Google Clap. Make sure you engage. Don't just sit there and allow everybody else to answer. Engage inside Zoom, Google Clap, you name it. I'll give you feedback. I mean, at the end of the day, it's only about 30 of you, right? I always give feedback on these answers that are submitted on Google Clap. And you might think, that you know it, but then when you participate, you engage, you find out that I'm calling you out. Not by name, it's anonymous, but I'm pointing out your message or your answer. I'll be like, hey, there's something wrong with this. Who knows what the mistake is? And then all the students will have an opportunity to correct it. And you might be like, oh, I didn't know that. So don't engage, again, do not deprive yourself of that learning opportunity. Do your assignments on time, mashallah. I mean, I don't need to add anything to that. Okay, most of the challenges that these students had that they've shared with you from previous cohorts is that the fact that they did not do assignments on time and it piled up and it became very discouraging. So do not get yourself into that state. And this, if you like, if somebody were to say to me, for those students who have really benefited, who are reaping the fruits now of their hard labor for the past 9 months, or say whatever, 6 months, amount, whatever length they were studying. If someone were to say to me, ascribe that to something, or what do you think has allowed them to achieve that? I would say nothing other than them doing their assignments, because that's the only way you learn. Active learning. You're not going to learn by just watching YouTube videos. You have to practice. So those that practice and do their assignments regularly on time, I guarantee you that whatever they've learned will sink in. Okay, and I'm a major proponent of this, of assignments and doing assignments and what have you. Okay, active learning. I absolutely hate passive learning. I hate it with a passion. Okay, I hate it with a passion. People that think they can just watch a YouTube video and that'll make them more knowledgeable or that will give them skills. Knowledge, like we said many times, is not about the transfer of information. It's about the transformation of the student. And you will never transform yourself and gain new skills and become a better person unless you put what you've learned into practice. And that applies to everything. Review your mistakes and seek clarification if needed. So when the ustad returns your work, barakallahu feek, don't just be like, oh, alhamdulillah, has been returned. Or don't just be like, oh, I submitted my assignment, mission accomplished. You've submitted your assignments. When you get it back, make sure you review your mistakes. Why else did the ustad took all that time out to point out your mistakes if you're not even going to open the PDF? Review your mistakes. And if there's something that you don't understand the correction of, normally speaking, inside the assignments, we don't explain why something is wrong. We assume that you know, because your mistakes must be a result of something that we've taught previously that you forgot about for the most part, because the assignments only cover things that you've already learned. But if there's something you don't understand, you don't know why it's wrong, then seek clarification in class or whichever other way possible, and specifically in the live class, and we will address it, inshallah ta'ala. Don't be shy in the workshops. Again, don't come to the workshop and then be shy. It's all about learning from your mistakes, like we said, and no one will judge you. We will provide a comfortable, safe space for you to fall. That's what it's about. Okay, we make sure that you're going to fall, absolutely. You're going to slip, you're going to make mistakes, but we'll make sure that it's a comfortable, safe space for you to fall, so that if you fall, you don't hurt yourself. And we'll make sure that somebody picks you back up. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, okay? Connect with your classmates. We already said that. Also, this is really important. Reflect at the end of each week. Reflect, okay? What went good? Ask yourself how your week went, what went good, and then keep it up. We might actually give you an activity, a weekly reflection activity, inshallah, that you can do optionally, but you'll answer a few questions at the end. You can benefit from those answers for next week. So what went good, then keep it up. What went wrong, improve on it next time. So don't forget that, okay? And finally, ask for help. If you need help, we're here to support you. Ask for help. If you don't ask, we can't help. Like, practical tips on learning Arabic, we already covered that. We've covered that already, yani, alhamdulillah. Any questions before we show you your weekly how your week is going to be. We're literally going to go through the portal. We're going to go through some of the exercises, just something that you are going to experience anyway tomorrow and Saturday. But I'm just going to show you how it is, so that when you do enter the portal, you know, it's a bit familiar to you. Barakallah fikum, Ustad. How long will the session will be today? We're actually done. We're done. Are the test deadlines for self-paced also? Okay, that's a good question. Look, our perception of self-paced has always kind of been different from what people think self-paced is. And that's why going forward, we're going to be changing the tiers, inshallah, to make it a bit clearer. There's going to be a third tier. Okay? But let me explain this. When we say flexible self-paced, what we mean by that basically is that it's for those students who can't attend the live lecture, but they're still expected to progress along with the cohort. But because they can't attend the live lecture, they watch the YouTube video the following day because they're in America maybe, or whatever. But they still try to do their assignments just like everyone else on time. Okay? That's the idea that we had behind flexible self-paced, right? However, that idea has gone a bit over people's heads, and they see it as sort of like, hey, you could do it whenever you like. I guarantee you, if you're going to approach it as do it whenever you get the chance, you will never do it. The completion rate for online self-paced courses is something around 3%. That's actually scientifically, statistically proven. Okay, it's the worst ever. So what people right now, they say what they call self-paced learning and the likes. It used to be a big hype 10 years ago. Your Udemy courses and your Coursera courses and these kind of courses, there used to be a big hype 10 years ago, but that's so last decade. Okay, because every single one of you knows how many self-paced courses you've signed up for, and you know how many of them you've completed. I guarantee you it's not more than 5%. So that is so yesterday. Right now, everybody's waking up to this reality, and that's why there's kind of like a revival of cohort-based learning, which is learning starting at specific times, ending at specific times, to give you that sense of urgency. So that's really what we believe in, which is if you're going to learn, you have to learn as part of a cohort. But having said that, there are some people that can't give the the time commitment. They don't have 7 hours. We're not going to say to them, if you can't do it, then there's an Arabic principle that says ما لا يدرك كله لا يترك جله وما لا يدرك كله لا يترك جله. Now, that which you can't achieve all, if you can't achieve all of it, then you shouldn't leave most of it. Okay, so if you can't achieve all of it, doesn't mean now you should leave everything else. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, so you can't commit 7 hours, you can't keep pace, okay, because of your restrictions in time. Then we say to you self-paced, as in, okay, then there's nothing much that we can do. This, do it whenever you can, but with the big disclaimer that you'll most likely won't complete it. Okay, so that is the flexible self-paced, how people understand it. That's not how we understood it. So now we're going to split them, inshallah. We're going to split them going forward. So we're going to have a flexible self-paced, which is how you understand it, which is do it whenever you like. And then the premium, the cohort, we're going to have two types. We're going to have the essential cohort group, and we're going to have the premium cohort group. Now, why the essential cohort group as opposed to the premium? All of you now here, not all of you, but most of you are in the premium cohort. But going forward, we're going to have the essential cohort group as well. And I've offered it to some of the students who have applied for scholarships that couldn't get it. I gave them the essential cohort group, something that I thought of yesterday. And the point, why the essential cohort group, you might ask? Because there are people that signed up for the self-paced, they signed up for a few reasons. Okay, some people, they signed up for the self-paced because the premium course was too expensive. Some people signed up for the self-paced because they can't attend the live lectures and workshops. So that's the next best option. And some people signed up for the flexible self-paced because, if you like, because they can't keep up with the pace. Okay, they can't keep up with the pace, as in they can't do this course in 12 weeks. They need a bit longer than that. Okay, that third option, the third guy, that can't keep up with the cohort, I say to them, you take the flexible self-paced, which is do it whenever you like. But those people who decided to go for self-paced, either because they couldn't afford it, or because, if you like, they can't attend the live lectures or the workshops. If that is the reason why they signed up for it, then I tell them sign up for the Essentials cohort instead. The Essential cohort is exactly the same as the Premium cohort. There's only one difference, which is there's no workshops. Okay, there's no workshops. And the reason for that is, well, because the Premium cohort has the workshops, because there's added resource, you know, it's something that limited spaces, so we can't give that to everyone. Okay, and also those of you that can't attend the workshop anyway, there's no point for you paying for Premium cohort. So what do you get then in Essentials cohort that you don't get in the self-paced? What you get basically is all your work will be marked. You'll be just like all the other students. Your work will be returned, your work will be marked, we'll catch up on you, we'll hold you accountable and everything. You'll be in the private Telegram group. Everything else will be the same. But you won't have access to the workshops because the workshop spaces are limited. Okay, so that's the only, if you like, takeaway why we decided to make the Essential cohort group, because some people, you know, instead of turning them away and be like, the workshops are full, we don't have space for it, yallah, go and study by yourself. We're like, okay, no problem, do the Essentials cohort, inshallah. And it's much cheaper, less than half price or half price of the Premium. So if it's this that you can't afford it, then inshallah you can afford this. And if it is that you can't join the Premium cohort because you can't make it for the workshops, then this Essential cohort is good. It's good for you as well. So let me know what you think about that. Actually, I just came up with that yesterday. And it solves the problem. It solves a major problem, because again, I don't want people to think that self-paced is the only other option. Either Premium cohort, the full thing, full shebang, or you basically get, you know, you're all by yourself. Because that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid this learning journey where you're all by yourself. We're trying to avoid that. So we found something in the middle ground, inshallah ta'ala, that we hope will solve that problem. Let me know what you think about that. Can self-paced join workshops by making additional payment for workshop? At this moment in time, no, because workshops are full. But we are planning on offering extra workshops, because some of the students even asked for that. They said, Ustad, these workshops are so good, we want more of them. So if we manage to do that, inshallah, then that could be an option. But the workshops that happen straight after the live lecture, then those spaces are up. But inshallah ta'ala, we will try our best to make more workshops available, inshallah. So someone said, how would you recommend practicing conversation for someone in self-paced? Well, I don't know what to recommend. If you have people locally you can speak to them. You can't practice conversation. That's a social exercise. You need someone else. You can't do that by yourself. If you have people you can have an Arabic conversation with, alhamdulillah, great. If not, then that's what the whole workshop is about. The workshop is about the teacher facilitating conversation amongst the students. You are not going to get lectured in the workshops. There's no explanations. There is, hey, here's a picture, talk about it. Hey, we have this exercise whereby we click a button and it gives you 3 random words or 3 random pictures or whatever. Yallah, make a sentence. That is what the workshop is about. It's just teacher just prompting you, nodding you to say something, and then you say something. And then at the end, when you're done speaking, he might give you some feedback and be like, okay, you said this, but actually it's this. Inshallah. Someone said, the new self-paced sounds amazing. Okay, stop calling it self-paced. Step number 1, stop calling it self-paced. It's Essentials cohort group. Okay, because this whole self-paced thing, I don't like it. Okay, there's no such thing called self-paced. Everything is a cohort. We have self-paced just for those people that are adamant. They're like, you know what? I cannot stick to the cohort. We say to them, okay, Allah miskin, you know, tell us when you need help. But it's not the new self-paced. This is actually the new cohort. So we have the Premium cohort, we have the Essentials cohort. The Essentials cohort is the exact same as the Premium cohort minus workshops. But you'll get the other full experience, inshallah. And then, like we said, we might offer, try and make those workshops somehow available as supplementary or optional or whatever, the best way that we can. But the problem with the workshops is the fact that the workshops happen at a specific time. If you can't make it for that time, there's nothing we can do for you. So that's why one thing we can do is offer more workshops, hire more teachers. Okay, and that's inshallah on our roadmap, inshallah. Allah makes it easy. We'll try and make sure there are workshops available every single day that you can book into and you can join. Inshallah, make dua. What do you mean by workshop? Workshop is basically, like we said, a small group of students, 6 students, 7 students, and the teacher, and you just speak. You just speak, and the teacher does everything in his ability to facilitate speaking. Okay, so to show you, for example, since you asked, to show you an example of some of the learning resources that we have for the workshops, okay? Let me show you. Let me share my screen. For example, this is what we've done, level 2. This was cohort 2. So let's go to any of these, right? Let's say people and places, right? Let's go to week 2, for example. We have the live class. After the live class, I mean, the live class is there's a lecture and there's a workshop, right? In the workshop, you do these things. Number 1, you do speaking practice. You do a bit of reading fluency. Teacher gets you to read the dialogue, make sure you're fluent. You do some pronunciation practice, practicing different sounds, making sure you pronounce it properly. You do this exercise called make your own sentence, where basically we give you a table with categorized words. So the vocabulary of that week, we put them into different categories. So you look at each category and you try and make your own sentence. Okay, it might sound a bit complicated, but inshallah, once you learn a bit of grammar and we teach you, things will become easier. So you have tumtir, which is a verb, you have an adjective, you have a place, you have a season, you have other. So for example, once we teach you how to make a verbal sentence, then you know that if you start with the verb, then you're going to need a noun after that, which is going to be the fa'il. And then optionally maf'ul bi. So you'll say something like tumtiru as-sama'. Okay, tumtiru is the action, as-sama' is the noun, for example. And then you might use an adjective, or you might use a time, be like ghadan, for example. Okay, so this is what we mean by the make your own sentence. So you can use these categorized vocabulary, inshallah. Another one is the speaking prompts, which basically is according to the theme of that week. We have the speaking prompts in English, but you have the conversation in Arabic. Okay, I can't give you the speaking prompts in Arabic because there's a possibility you don't understand what the prompt is saying. But since you understand English, it says to you, for example, discuss the weather by asking about the weather in another person's country or city. I've taken this directly from the book. They've got it in Arabic, the learning objectives, and I kind of like took it and turned it into these speaking prompts. So all of this is 100% in line with that week's unit. And that's the power, like we said. That's why some of the students, we said, they're having these conversations on the way to the mosque. Why? Because they've been exposed to this vocab and this grammar and these sentences throughout the whole week that it kind of like, mashallah, becomes something that they start, dreaming about. Commenting on the weather in your country, state how the weather was in the past, pretend to speak to someone over the phone from another country, talk about the climate of the country, these speaking prompts. So you just have this on the screen and you just talk. And we do this by timing. We time you 3 minutes, you and another student. We start the timer and you two speak. While you two are speaking, the teacher, I sit there and I listen to you speaking and I make notes, every mistakes that you make. I don't interrupt you. When you're finished speaking, then I give you the feedback. I say to you, okay, you said tumtiru kada kada, it's actually meant to be this. You said this, but it's meant to be this. And I give you this feedback. Not while you're speaking, because that will put you off, but after you're done speaking. And then another 2 students have the same thing. Also, we have this other one called random image or word, which, like I said earlier, I spin the wheel, I click a button, and it's going to give you a sample sentence. So this is a sample sentence that you need to make. And the benefit of this is that this is practicing your grammar. Okay, because now you have to do the right conjugation and you have to use everything correctly. And it's also practicing your vocabulary because you have to come up with suitable words. So for example, here we have a shakhs, a person. You read, that's the verb. Then you have to come up with what they want, which is the maf'ul bihi or the object. And then you have to describe that thing with an adjective, a sifa, or you can do mudaf ilayh. So for example, you would say Fatima. Don't say Yurid because it's Fatima. Give her whatever name you like. Call her Aisha, Fatima, Ummi, Ukhti, call her whatever you like. Okay, but just you have to speak about a woman. Fatima turidu. Don't say Yuridu. Arba'ina. Why? Because it's maf'ulun bihi. We'll cover that. If you don't say what that means, you'll get that. So you have to make these adjustments according to grammar. So it's kind of like, it's very focused, as in you know what to say, but it really puts you on the spot when it comes to using the correct grammar. Because if I tell you, yalla, give me a sentence out of the blue, you're going to be stuck because you can't think of the vocabulary. So this kind of like helping you out. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you push weights that are, in the machine, right? You still have to do the pushing, you still have to work hard, but what's it called? You have a specific focus on what to do. So Fatimatu turidu, or turidu Fatimatu arba'ina what? Okay, then you answer that question. Okay, or let's give another example. Now we have a man. Say Khalid. Khalidun yuridu qalaman, and then come with an adjective. Qalaman azraq, a blue pen. Azraqan. Or you might say mudaf ilayh. Khalidun yuridu qalamuhu. He wants his pen. Or Khalidun yuridu qalam al-muallim. He wants the teacher's pen. And so on and so forth. The point I'm trying to make is that this is one of the workshop exercises. So that's what we mean by workshop. For the person that asked what we mean by workshop, what we mean is you just practice speaking. It's an hour of you speaking. That's how I can put it for you, inshallah. Someone said, can I share the knowledge I gain from workshops with students who can't attend? My dear brother, share every knowledge you gain. Barakallah feek. From workshop, from live lecture, anything you gain from this course. I don't just say to you, share it. I don't just give you the permission to share it. I encourage you to share it. And I make dua for you. May Allah Ta'ala put barakah in your hands. Why are we here? We're here to share. Why are we putting this whole program together? To spread the Arabic language, for you to share it. فهمت علي؟ why would I teach you Arabic if I want you to keep it to yourself? لا أبدا. Share it with other students, share it with your family. Obviously, you can't share your login details and the likes because at the end of the day, we can't deal with too many students, right? But by all means, you take as much of the benefit that we give you and then share it with as many people as you like. Barakallah feekum. Absolutely. You got 100% permission to do that. Perhaps all the self-paced students can chip in and organize a workshop themselves by getting a cheaper teacher, like a native speaker, to monitor a session while they converse. Absolutely, I agree with you on that. This whole idea, this whole concept of students organizing workshops among themselves, regardless if it's teacher-led or student-led. And you bring me to a point I was going to make anyway. But I ended up not finishing everything I wanted to cover. But if I go back to where we were, you'll find that we were going to speak about your weekly schedule. We had this thing called supplementary workshops. Supplementary workshops is exactly what you're mentioning now, which is, okay, we have these workshops that come straight after the lecture. Okay, fine, those limited spaces. But we can add more workshops. How can we add more workshops? We can have teacher-led workshops, which, again, like I said, if the demand is there, we can hire more teachers and we can organize more workshops so that, every day there's a workshop out there that you can join. That's one thing. Or we can have the student-led workshops. So even the students that are maybe of a higher level, let's say we have students in level 3, they'd be like, okay, you know what, Ustad, let me organize a workshop. Students of level 1, yalla, join us. And you know what, I will direct the conversation. Yalla, let's do this. Obviously, that student himself will majorly benefit, okay? And those students in level 1 will benefit as well, okay? Or even the students among themselves in level 1, join together and make mistakes. What's the problem? Wallahi, we learned Arabic here in Saudi Arabia as students in the dorm rooms, yes, with fellow students in level 1. We go to the ma'had together, we learn some Arabic, we go back to the rooms together, dorm rooms, we speak with each other with our broken Arabic. And I always advise people, if you're gonna be in those dorm rooms at the Islamic universities, in these Arab countries, make sure you don't share a room with a Westerner, because he'll just speak with you English. Rather share a room with an African brother, Indonesian brother, someone the only thing you got in common is Arabic. And I guarantee you, you two will speak together in your broken Arabic, and together you will grow. And Mustawa al-Awwal, you two are speaking broken Arabic. When you go to Mustawa al-Rabi' level 4, you two are speaking good Arabic together, but you've grown together. So by all means, organize these workshops, inshallah. I'll facilitate the technical side for all of you to give you the opportunity to organize a workshop together, to find the times that are easy. Technology will take care of that, inshallah, and just show up. And one of the other ideas I had as well is, have these workshops. That's why we said have accountability partners anyway, right? You can organize these sort of things. You can have also a homework session. That's something that some people, they do, which is like, hey, you know what? Because the homework, I'm probably going to postpone it. Let me promise myself I'm going to do it at a specific time. I'm going to do my homework every single day at 6 p.m. Then you find another student who has the same kind of schedule. You say to them, okay, you know what? Let's just show up on Zoom. Turn on your camera, I turn on my camera. Yes? And let's just show up. You work, I work, as if we're sitting next to each other, and that's it. Okay. If you don't show up, then whatever, and then you'll actually show up because you promised someone you're gonna show up. You can do these sort of things by all means, my dear brothers and sisters. Anything that will gain to you, that will lead to you being more motivated, benefiting, learning. It's a journey. And this journey, we're all in it together. You're not by yourself. Okay, the worst thing you could do is thinking that you're by yourself when it comes to learning Arabic. If you feel like you're by yourself, that's when you give up. What you need to know is you're part of a caravan. These cohorts, let's call them caravans going forward, right? You're part of a caravan. Caravan is not going to continue and leave you behind. If they have to pause and stop and wait for you, they'll do so. Okay? You just make sure that, you try your best to keep up. Okay, so by all means, we're in this journey together, and we all know that traveling by yourself is boring and there are challenges, but if we do this together, then mashallah, all of us will get to the end of the line. Okay? Hayyakumullah. So I have to take off now. No problem, inshallah. This is recorded anyway, and it's on YouTube as well. I'll share the link on the channel. Whatever you missed, you can catch up, inshallah. And anyone that needs to leave, you can leave, inshallah. We're done. I'm just going to hang around and answer some of these questions. One of our students said, workshops are actually really helpful. We might be able to frame a sentence and write it down in a minute or two. But in workshop, we are put on a spot. Yes, we're put on the spot, and we need to reduce this processing time and speak right away. It gives so many learning opportunities, just like how Ustad calls it. And when Ustad corrects us with the right sentence, we get to know that though grammatically our sentence might be right, Arabs don't say it that way. Share the khair. Ustad Muhammad bin Abdul Wali. Yeah, share the khair. Absolutely. Share the khair. Allah yahfadkum. Share the khair. طيب. Alhamdulillah. Again, I know we had that informal welcome session on Monday and Tuesday. That we had this orientation session today, and I'm sure all of you can't wait to start. You're like, when are we going to start? When is our first lesson? It's going to be on Saturday, inshallah. Tomorrow, the pre-class worksheets are going to be available to you. You will gain access to the portal as well, inshallah, tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm still getting some of these students, scholarship students, into the Telegram group. And see you in class on Saturday. I've got nothing else to add, really. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, or those of you that have joined this event who were interested in joining, but they didn't manage to join for whatever reasons, they lose out on their seats. Inshallah, all the lessons will be live streamed on YouTube, inshallah. So I don't know how to put it, but this whole passive learning, in my mind, passive learning is so useless, right? I don't even see value in it. I can't believe some people actually charge money for that. Really. Some people, they'll just record you a lesson, right? And then they'll put a price tag on it. They'll paywall it, which, it's fine. I'm not going to say to you it's haram. It's okay, to each his own. But for me, I see passive learning as something that is so useless, yes, that I can't think of actually charging someone, yes, for a passive learning experience, to give him something he can probably find on YouTube. I don't see the idea behind that. So this is live. It's live streamed on YouTube. You want to watch lectures? You want to have some passive learning? You just want to hear the grammar explanations? By all means, it'll be on YouTube. I'll put it on a playlist. Watch it to your heart's content, inshallah. But I do have to warn you, a major disclaimer, which is, do not think that you've learned something. And this is the reason why I'm just making it available, because people want it. Maybe these lectures and these lessons, you'll watch it. Maybe that will be the motivation that you need to take the plunge and sign up for a proper course. Mine or any other person's course, there's actually a cohort, right? Maybe there's that benefit in you watching these videos. So that's why I'm giving it to you. But I do have to say a major disclaimer, yes, which is that if you watch all these videos and you spend 20, 30 hours watching the whole playlist, and then at the end of the playlist, you still cannot say your name in Arabic, you can't say, my name is Fulan, and I'm from this country, and you can't introduce yourself in Arabic, in the most basic sense possible, then do not go and say Arabic is difficult. And don't go and say this language is not for me. That's the danger. And that's why I hate passive learning. Okay? If somebody passively consumes content, but he knows that it's not enough, then okay, that's fine. There's no danger in that. But the danger is when somebody passively consumes content and he thinks that is seeking knowledge, and he thinks that that is what will allow him to learn Arabic. That's a danger. That's a major danger. Because what's going to happen is he's going to put in hours and hours and hours passively consuming content. He will not gain any benefit. He will not be able to speak. He will not be able to write. And he will not be able to put it to practice, because he hasn't put it to practice. He was just passively consuming content. And then if he thought that that's what was required, he's going to come and jump to the conclusion that either it's not for me or either Arabic is difficult. Well, I remember all of you have sent you emails, you know, when I launched the cohort saying, are you interested? Let me know. And one sister, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve her and help her and aid her and make her everything easy for her. Her reply is very, very simple. She said to me, no, Ustad, Jazakallah khairan, for your kind offer and for your kindness in reaching out. But she said, I find Arabic difficult to master. She said, I'm not interested. Okay, here you can see the dangers of taking the wrong course or taking the wrong approach. You might think to yourself that, well, if I've got nothing to gain, I've got nothing to lose from watching YouTube videos all day. If I've got nothing to gain from taking a free course, yes, without looking into the quality of that course, or who's delivering it, or if they know what they're doing, if I got nothing to gain, at least I got nothing to lose. If that is your mindset, wallah, you're mistaken. Obviously, you've lost your time. That's one thing. You've wasted your time. But more importantly, you have wasted your motivation to learn the language. This motivation that you have to learn the language, that's the most valuable thing that you have. That's the number one thing that will allow you to eventually learn the language. So when you put your motivation and your confidence and your desire to learn the language in danger by taking the wrong approach, such that you put a lot of effort in and you get nothing in return, this is a major loss. Naam, wallahi, there is no such thing called free courses. My brothers, sisters, pay attention. There is no such thing called a free course. Every course comes at a price tag. Why do we just think that cost is only something financial? Okay, if there's no financial cost to it, if it doesn't cost me money, then it is free. This is a wrong mindset to have. Well, it's a wrong mindset to have. If it doesn't cost you money, it will cost you time. But that's the least that can be said, because it could be worse than that. It could cost you your desire to learn. How many people stopped seeking knowledge? How many people stopped learning Arabic? How many people left the dreams that they have, they left it behind? Yes, because they took a course or they signed up for an institute or an academy and they had a bad experience and that put them off from the whole journey. How many people? Well, it would have been better for them to sign up for a course, yes, and just lose their money if it was a bad course, because then at least they can blame the institute. But right now they're thinking to themselves, you know, it was a free course. I didn't spend anything. I spent so much time, and it still didn't work out for me. Okay? So again, please pay attention. Right? We will live stream all lessons, but do not think that is enough. We live stream it just to, inshallah ta'ala, instill the love of the language in you. Okay? Maybe to fill some gaps. Maybe you're already studying Arabic elsewhere. Watch these live lectures to fill in the gaps. Maybe to correct some misunderstandings that you have. Whatever it may be. Maybe for you just to be in these circles of knowledge, inshallah. But do not think that passive learning is enough to learn. Okay? So sorry for this long rant. Okay? Talking about this issue, but this is something really dear to my heart and something that I see causing a lot of harm. Okay? The overload or the availability of knowledge and information this day and age online, people think is a good thing. Well, it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Okay? Because there's so much information overload that it becomes very difficult to distinguish signal from noise. Very difficult to distinguish between that which is beneficial and that which is harmful. Okay? So again, like I said, the most valuable asset that you have, time is a more valuable asset than the money that you have. And even a greater valuable asset than that is your motivation and desire to seek knowledge. And if you put that in danger, then that's a problem. Barakallahu feekum. Someone said, could we volunteer a workshop for level 1 to help the students of level 1? Is that something to consider in the future? Naam, near future, inshallah. We'll do that. Barakallah feek, Akhil Kareem. Can you please explain how cohort 1, 2, 3 are different? Is it the same course being repeated for another group or a continuation from previous cohort? Well, yeah, it depends. It depends. This cohort, we are launching 2 levels, level 1 and level 3. So those on level 3, it's a continuation from level 1, 2, and 3. Or those people that already know Arabic, they can start from level 3. A cohort is basically a specific start date, specific end date. Each cohort can have multiple classes, multiple levels, it doesn't matter. But it starts at a specific time, ends at a specific time, and you're going to be with a group of students. You're going to be on this journey for those 12 weeks together towards the end goal, which is finishing that level. So you're joining cohort 3, but it depends which level you're joining at. If you're joining a level 3, then it's a continuation. If you're joining level 1, then we're starting all over again. The same course, basically. How is self-paced designed so that they don't feel left out from achieving the end goal as compared to premium students? Self-paced, I don't know about that. That depends on that person's motivation and his zeal. That is by yourself. But if you mean the essentials cohort, then that one is the exact same, like we said, as the premium cohort minus the workshops. But most Islamic courses are self-paced today. What to do then if one can't attend halaqat in person apart from Arabic? Like I said, if you can't have something 100%, then don't leave most of it. Take those self-paced courses because you've got no other choice. But if you do have another choice, then definitely go to live classes, either if they're online or in person. Okay, but let's say you want to learn a certain book and you can only find recordings, then listen to the recordings, inshallah. But then again, I want you to differentiate between 2 things, barakallah feek, and thank you for pointing that out. Please differentiate between 2 things, which is those courses that are about understanding concepts. They're more to do with understanding. They're not practical courses. There are 2 types of courses. There are 2 types of sciences. There are certain courses, certain subjects, certain sciences that are practical by nature. These sciences that are practical by nature, you cannot do them self-paced by yourself easily. Such as Arabic language. Arabic language is not like listening to a class in tafsir or a class in aqidah. Like a class in aqidah, there's no, that's the practical aspect of, okay, live your life according to it, but there's no skill that you develop. So, for example, doing tafsir is different from memorizing the Quran. You can learn a tafsir course self-paced, but you can't memorize the Quran by yourself without a teacher holding you by the hand and giving you feedback and correcting your mistakes, because memorizing the Quran is something practical. So again, differentiate between the 2. Practical sciences that need implementation, where you develop skills, these you can't. These self-paced is very difficult, if not impossible, right? But The other sciences, the ones you're basically talking about Islamic courses, such as tafsir class, aqidah class, what have you, this one stuff is okay. It's fine. There's no practical aspect to it other than you becoming a better Muslim and implementing it in your lives. What do you advise to those who can't join the classes at this time? Inshallah, stay in the channel. Keep an eye out for Cohort 4. Cohort 4, inshallah, will be launched after Ramadan, so that you know. After Ramadan, we'll launch Cohort 4. If you can join at that time, ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. We welcome you. Does the pillar role get to attend the workshops? By default, no, because that's a different thing altogether. I think you mean the Patreon tiers. The pillar role being being on the mentorship program, then that is different. As in, that is a different service with its own benefits. But having said that, inshallah ta'ala, we'll keep in touch, inshallah, in private, and inshallah, we'll work something out. Don't worry. Allah yahfadak. طيب. Class, inshallah, I'm done with that. There's a lot of things that we've shared today. Allah make it easy for us, inshallah, to follow through. Bidnillah al-Kareem. I'm very excited to launch level 1 all over again, because like I said, first time I taught it was building the plane while flying it, but this time we're much more prepared, alhamdulillah. I have a course director on board. All the learning resources have been I can't say perfected, but they've been improved and corrections have been made. And inshallah, every time, and that's the benefit of these cohorts. Every time you do a new cohort, it only gets better and better, inshallah. Hayyakumullah. طيب, inshallah, we'll suffice with that. Hafizakumullahu wa ra'akum. Narakum ala khair. Again, sorry. It's meant to be 1 hour. And I did tell you, when the 1 hour was finished, I said to you, you can leave. So if you stayed around until now, barakallahu feek. It wasn't mandatory, but if you wanted to benefit from those questions and the likes, I say Allah yahfadak, but don't blame me for the session being this long, yani. I just wanted to hang around for those of you that had questions. Could ask you a private question as it relates to the Shaykh Sulaiman Rahili answer in Birmingham. Well, I don't know which answer, but email, inshallah, email me. Barakallah feek. Ameen, ameen, jazakallah khair. Can you please share the link for the schedule? Yes, I'll share that on the Telegram channel, the Telegram group, inshallah, because obviously the schedule is for the enrolled students only. The other students, they'll get the YouTube links on the channel, the main channel, but the link to the actual workshops or the lectures where you join in Zoom, these will be shared, inshallah, in the private groups, inshallah. Ameen, ameen. Hafizakumullah. Inshallah, after the session, you should receive an email, feedback email. Please fill it out. Please fill it out, inshallah. And tell me what you think and give me your input. Take your time if you like. I really benefit from your input, inshallah.